Hello, and welcome to this quick demonstration of the Immuta Data Marketplace. Its intent is to help you provision data products to your data consumers. And this is done by publishing to the data marketplace, those consumers discovering those data products, requesting access, and that access actually being provisioned in the data platforms, which I will demonstrate. First thing to be aware of is, if you're familiar with Immuta, this is Immuta as you know it today. Where you configure access control policies, who should have access to what tables, can you filter rows, mask columns, and so forth. The data marketplace is actually a completely separate URL that your consumers can visit, but it's also a place where your data products producers can publish them, and the people doing the approvals can do the approvals here too, and they don't have to be aware of existing Immuta. And you'll notice this is branded as Immuta right now, but you can actually change the branding to your own company to give it your own look and feel. So I've already set this up with Initech logo. So I go ahead and save this in the settings. You can see this was successfully saved. If I refresh my marketplace, we should have the Initech branding now. Okay, so I'm going to run through publishing a data product. So this Immuta Data Marketplace comes downstream from where you're doing all the work of data engineering your data products in your data platform. So you're doing all that work. You're now ready to publish that work to this data marketplace. An analogy of this is like a butcher in a butcher shop. The butcher does all the gruesome work of cutting up the meat behind closed doors, and then this is the display case to then get that meat out there so you could buy it. Right? So I'll show you how you get it in the display case, so to speak. So we're going to publish a data product. First thing is we support the concept of domains. So you can give people permission to publish data products from a particular domain. I'm going to pick finance in this case. And Initech, my Initech data product is going to be customer profiles and customer transactions. Notice these data sources come from both Databricks and Snowflake. We, of course, support much more than this, but this just happens to be the kind of data that's in this domain. And I'll click Next. I'm going to call this TPS reports, Data Weekly, and subject matter expert is Chris Brown. So this is the person that the consumers can ask questions about this data product to. The important part is this request policy. So the first question we ask is, should you require approval to this data product? So meaning, are there humans in the loop to do the approvals? And if you say no, and you give a reason, users will just be automatically subscribed to this data product when they request access. If you say yes, users with governance and managed data product permission can make a decision if the person should have access or not. Soon we will make it so that you can configure who does these approvals. We call those data stewards. There's also a standard question that the user needs to answer when requesting access. And again, very soon we'll make this configurable. You can also assign a data use agreement. You can create one from scratch or use one that you've already created. I've got the standard data use agreement. And this, again, is something that the data consumer that's requesting access is going to have to agree to. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this data product. So now we have our TPS reports data product. I'm going to bring up a separate user here, Ruby, and she is looking to create her TPS report, and she sees this TPS data product here. She can review the data use agreement. She can see that there aren't any members yet, and she's going to request access. She can request for herself or on behalf of someone else who typically want to do this for a system account that might be used in a data pipeline, for example. And to do my VP report. Another key thing here is that Ruby is able to see her current access to these tables that make up the data product. This is possible because Immuta checks in with the existing Immuta policies, and Ruby may already have access, or there may be cases where, due to policy, she'll never get access even if approved in the marketplace. So you can set up those guardrails if you like. And she can say, I've reviewed the data use agreement, and now that she's done those two things, she can submit the request. Now we have this request pending. Before I approve this request, I just want to jump into Databricks real quick and Snowflake so you can see this customer profiles table in Databricks. Ruby does not have access to it. We're going to get an insufficient privileges message here. And similarly, she does not have access in Snowflake either, like that customer transactions table. So if we go over here to Steve, again, the person that published this, we can see Ruby's got this TPS report request from Ruby. So we can see the answer to the question. We can see Ruby's existing access. We can see that she's agreed to the data use agreement. So we're giving the person doing the approval a lot of information to go off of. So I can either deny this, but I'm going to, of course, approve it. I give a reason, names it for her report, and we're going to confirm the approval. And now we can see that goes away. If I tick the pending request off, we can see all the history here. So I'm going to bring back Ruby here. If we refresh this, Ruby will become a member, and you can see that she's approved now. But more interestingly, and this is the key part, is that it's not only, window shopping. Like when Ruby requested access and is approved, we are actually using Immuta to provision that access in the data platform. So now if she runs that same query that was blocked before in Databricks, he's now able to query that table that makes up the data product. And similarly, if we query that table in Snowflake, she's able to see the data in there as well.